Hi y'all, it's me. I was contacted by a company called Kokorosa Studio to select some of the products from their shop to show on my channel, along with some ideas of how to use those dies. I will link their shop, a discount code, and a link to all of the products that I share with you today down below in the description box. So be sure to check down there if you see something that you're interested in. I'm going to first share with you the dies that I received, and then I'll show you the projects I created. Since I've intermingled the dies, I want to make sure to show you them first. And I'll also give you some tips along the way of things that I do or learned or whatever. So let's start with the first one. The first set is called the Kokorosa Studio Hygiene Series Metal Cutting Die. And if you can see, you have the COVID virus, the toilet paper, a mask, gloves, and a little washer sanitizer or soap dispenser. Really cute, and I did cut them out once just so you could see how they look when they're cut. And that's that right there. Now, I'm only going to say this, but you know, COVID is something that we've all encountered in our lifetime. I doubt we'll ever encounter anything like it. So I think this die set is important to have to document the year 2020 because it was sure crazy. And you know, things like that are really important to document for future. But I have this simple stories collection kit called Quarantine, and it has some of these items on here. So this die works perfectly well with this collection, and that's why I selected it. I want to make embellishments with these for when I make my documentation of 2020. So that was the first set that I got. The next set I selected, this is a beautiful die set and it's very intricate. It's called the 5-piece frame metal cutting die. And you can see I've left mine connected for a reason because it kind of helps me remember how to layer these because this is a layering die. However, you can use it alone as well. And here is the samples of what it cuts. So look how beautiful those are, but wait till you see it put together. OMG. So one of the tips I want to share with you before I go further is that when you have a die that's this intricate, and they're really hard to glue. I've shown this before, but I do this. I put some glue on my hand, just like I'm doing here, and then I take the die and I just rub it along my hand. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but it's harder to try to get the die to stick, you know, by putting the glue directly on the die, and then you put it down and it sticks perfectly. So that is just one way to glue your dies down a little bit faster that are very intricate. And also when you're cutting dies out like that, I suggest that you run them back and forth through your die cutting machine a few times so that they will cut all the intricacies of the die. The next set that I got is called 5 different border metal cutting dies, and that's these here. And as you can see, they're super adorable. These are great for a lot of things, and I'll show you how I've used them. And here's what they look like. And by the way, if you see numbers, that's the measurement of the die, so you can know. But look how beautiful these are, especially like these are so intricate. So that was a beautiful die set. And then I got this one here, and this is a Stackable Frames 7-piece metal die cutting set. And as you can see, they go from, you know, larger to smaller. These dies are always great to have in your stash. The largest is this measurement and the smallest is that, if you care to know. The last die set that I chose, it's called the 2 Shapes Metal Die Cutting, and you'll see the different shapes here. I went ahead and cut those out as well with the measurements if you'd like to see, just so that you know what you're looking at. So let me start by showing you what I used to when I created with these dies. This set right here, the Hygiene, I decided to make a little frame to hang up. I used the pieces around the border, as you can see here. And this was cut from that paper collection that I shared with you earlier. I just thought it was a cute way to remind people to sanitize and wear masks and all that kind of thing. So that's how I chose to use it for that one. And I also chose to use it in this manner. I wanted to gift some sanitizer. This is just a cute way to do that. So I've used the gloves and the soap or sanitizer, whichever you want. These are from my stash. And here you can see I used one of those border dies, and you'll see that on a lot of my projects that I did. I've used them as borders for my projects. So that's just a cute way to use it. You could also, if you're a manicurist, you could put those on your business card. You know, you could just use these in so many different ways. And of course, like I said, make a lot of little embellishments with them. So that was my first project. Then for the next project, I used this die right here. Sorry, let me grab it. Sorry. This one right here. And with that, I created a couple of things. Now, you all know you can cut those out and use them as, you know, layering pieces on things, but I also chose to use mine to make a pocket. So I basically cut this shape out twice and cut one in half, and then I used one of the edge dies to create that cute little border there. And I did some stitching, and it's so cute. And then this is one of those pieces from that stackable set that I showed you earlier. It's really pretty. Reminds me of, I don't want to date myself, but Spirograph, because it used to make those kind of shapes. But anyhow, I included a tag, and this was made with the smallest or second to smallest die in this die set of 7 pieces. So I did that with it first, and then the next thing that I did with it is I made a card. And this is the card that I created, and you can see I have the back piece and then the layering piece. I did some sewing. I have a rosette, some pretty trim, some die cut pieces, some enamel dots, chipboard pieces, a little charm dangle right there. And when you open it up, I used a couple of the layering dies to make the inside. So it's a card. Now, how did I get a card? Simple. You take your folded card, which I'm going to show you here. You take your die, whichever die you're using, and you layer it right here so that the top edge does not cut. You see how I've left that little gap? You run that through your folded piece of paper, through your die cut machine, and it will make a card. So that's a great way to use these kind of nesting dies for that purpose. So super cute way to use that die. Now I want to show you this beauty. Let me grab that really quickly. This one right here. This 5-piece metal cutting die, oh my goodness. When you stack it together, well, first of all, let me show you what I created. I've created this like a ward ribbon, but take a look at the intricacy of this die. I hope it's coming out the way it looks in person. It is stunning. I've used several different colors of cardstock to cut each layer, so it gives it depth and it makes it look so rich and full. It is just beautiful. I also used the set from the this 2-piece, this set here. I used this piece and I used this piece to create that, and the circle to create that beautiful ribbon right there. These are the edge border trims that I showed earlier, but isn't that just stunning? OMG. Give me 1 second. I have to grab something. I want to show you a couple of other things that this particular die can come up with, because it's very versatile. Depending on how you layer the pieces together, you get different looks. Now this look is the same as the one I just showed you. However, it's using different colors. So I just wanted you to see it in another color variation. Then if you don't want to use all the pieces, you could just use 2 pieces. And these are all done, both pieces are done with 2, just with 2 layers. So you can see there's various uses. Depending on how you choose to put these layers together, you can get different outcomes every time. You just have to be sure to line up those things. Now there's another look. So it's a great little die to have in your stash. So that's that one. And finally, we come to the last project. And it's this one here, using this. Now I've only used this shape here, And then I used the die from this one right here, this piece right here. I used that, and this is what I came up with. And I used some of the border dies, and I made this cute little banner, and I'll bring it up close so you could see it. So there are the layering pieces that I mentioned, and down at the bottom you can see I use one of the edge dies as trim. It just looks like a paper lace, so it's super cute. I put flowers, I put stickers, I put little gem pieces. I think it just came out so adorable. It reads summer fun, and we're all getting ready for summer, and I just thought this was a cute way to use that die. So there you go. Those are the projects that I've created for Kokorosa. Be sure to use the links down below to do your shopping, and be sure and use your discount code, because I'm sure you're going to want to get some of these beautiful dies, especially have a look at this. And I think they have another one that does something similar, so check that out. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, do what makes you happy. Bye for now.